This is the Small Town Business Podcast. My name is Tyson. The podcast is brought to you by the Small Town Marketing Group. It's an online marketing course for small town businesses. Today, I'm chatting with Jessica Carter, the owner of Extreme Realities. And Jessica is joining us from, is it Powell, Wyoming?
Yep, that's correct. Powell, Wyoming.
Okay, and how many people live in Powell, Wyoming?
Oh gosh. I don't know if I can answer that. I'm not sure. Not
Oh,
very
okay.
many.
Yeah, yeah, a
I
few
think
hundred.
when I first moved here, I looked at the population, but now I just kind of know everybody.
Yeah. So a few hundred probably.
There's more than that. There's 1,000 something.
Okay.
No, I couldn't answer it. Sorry.
No, you're fine. But you live outside of town though, so you're even in a rural area, right?
Yes, yep, yep.
Cool. Cool. Well, we love that. We love small businesses. So, all right. Well, why don't you tell everybody a little about Extreme Realities and what your business is?
Sure. Extreme Realities is we mostly specialize in power sports wraps and decals. I fell in love with power sports and really just it kept calling to me, and I finally found a niche where I could, put my hobbies and work together and enjoy both. So,
Awesome.
ooh, yeah.
And I think pretty much everybody will know what a power sports is, but just to be specific, we're talking like snowmobiles, ATVs, four-wheelers, that kind of stuff, right?
Yep. Dirt bikes, all that good stuff.
Okay, awesome. Side by sides, do you do many side by sides?
Yep, I do side by sides, jet skis, pretty much anything that goes on dirt, water, and snow.
Perfect. Yeah, that's awesome. And your business is a little unique because you do most of your work online, correct? And you do have some
Yep.
local clients, but you sell online.
Yep, mostly probably like a good 90% of my work is online.
Awesome. So what inspired you to open this business?
So I went to college for photography and graphic design, and then I moved to this smaller area, and I applied for lots of jobs, and eventually had to take both of my degrees off to get a job here locally because people assumed they had to pay me more. And technically, I just wanted work, and I was on social media actually, and another company out of Canada posted a wrap design, and I was like, man, I have all the knowledge and the know-how, and I just love being out on, and involved in these sports, and I'm like, I can totally do that. And so from there, I started digging into the whole wrap world and um, learning and just a ton of research on everything. Um, so pretty much self-taught when it came to making templates and just creating these things because I'd never done it before. Everything I'd learned was more towards marketing, logos, and things like that.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's kind of what I started.
And one of the parts of the marketing process that I think is really important is understanding your industry and understanding, what is out there and what your competition is doing. And so I think all that research, although a lot of small town business owners don't necessarily see that as marketing, it really is because the better you can understand that, the better you can serve your customer. And it sounds like that's one of the things you went into really deep is to understand the graphic design. Well, you knew graphic design, but the actual wraps and how to
Yeah,
create them and what people want in a wrap.
yeah, just learning machines alone was a lot of research, because I had either rode a four-wheeler or a certain sled, but I hadn't ridden other sleds or four-wheelers to know like how their plastics were, how the graphics would flow on them, and just kind of learning all the machines was interesting the first year for sure.
Oh yeah, and that's not something I really thought a lot about is each model, each year model, as well as each manufacturer has different specifications, right? As far as creating the
Yeah.
templates.
Yep, exactly.
Wow, that is interesting. And now, do you do all custom stuff? Do you do some custom and some just stock stuff? What's your how do you work that?
Uh, we're pretty much all custom. I do like if I design a wrap design that someone doesn't choose and someone is unsure of kind of a design they want and they want examples, I'll pull from that pile. But most of it is custom.
Oh man, that's awesome. So the big question I have for you, Jessica, is how do you get customers living in a small town?
So I am fortunate that a lot of my customers come from word of mouth through social media. Social media has been a powerful tool, whether it'll drive you nuts half the time because you don't want to see some of the stuff going on right now in the world, but it definitely is a tool for small businesses like myself. Um, I I also run an ambassador program, which has helped me a ton through past customers that have really been awesome and followed me through my journey. And I brought them in as ambassadors because they were pretty much already doing the work for me, but this way I could reward them as well. So they've helped get the word out for me. Um, but yeah, a lot of it, I mean, I've done some like Facebook advertising and such, but I just find the word of mouth and customer service, like if your customer service is 100% or you're at least giving 100%, you'll find new clients just through that alone, I think.
Yes, and that's a great marketing tool that again is, when people think of marketing, they think of, oh, I got to pay for advertising. I got to, pay for a billboard or pay for ads, which I mean, personally, as a marketer, I feel like advertising and paying for advertising is very effective. But there's so many other
Yeah,
avenues that you can follow, such as you did with building an ambassador program. I think that's very smart. Can you tell me a little more about that? How'd you get the idea to do that? How do you work with your ambassadors? If you don't mind sharing a
sure.
little bit about that.
Well, the idea came from being involved with a program myself. I've been involved with DSG Snow Gear for
Oh,
six
very
years
cool.
now, going on 6 years. So I learned a lot from just being involved with that program, but then I just kind of took pieces and parts and built it to my own. And with my ambassadors, we, I'm trying to think, they do get discounts on wraps and then, incentives for having mentions on, social media and such. We do like little contests for certain things. And I just try to treat them really well, like they're family almost. I mean, I know a lot of them personally just through the snowmobile world. And they're just really great people. So it makes it pretty easy to work with them.
Yeah, and
But
fun. I mean, so again, we go back to customer service, right? So even though
yeah.
they're technically your partner as a business partner to help you grow your brand, you treat them really well and you have great customer service. And um, we all know that live in small towns, if you do something really bad, even if it's once, it's going to be
Yeah.
hard to overcome that. So going
Yeah.
above and beyond in customer service is important.
Yep, and I learned that early on. I did retail sales for quite a while, and I think the very first job I ever took, they said, make sure you introduce yourself within, I think it was 10 seconds within someone coming into the department store. And right there, I started to learn all about customer service, and it just something I've really had a passion for, really, besides just this, is the way you treat other people when they come into your business. So
Yeah,
it's just
thanks
kind
for
of
sharing
following.
that.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good insight. So I enjoy about doing these podcasts is everybody has their own little insight that helps me and can hopefully help other small town business owners. And then
Yeah.
one other thing, the way I found out about you, because I love snowmobiling and being in the outdoors on power sports. I saw you on an interview through a industry specific show on Facebook. And so have
Yeah.
you, through that process, did you reach out to get that interview in hopes to get more awareness to your business, or were you contacted? How did that come about?
So I was contacted. So I'm a little weird. I don't like to bring, I don't know, recognition to myself. Like I kind of try to hide from any kind of recognition, I guess. I don't know. I like just to be the person in the background doing the work.
Hmm.
So he did contact me, and I was very surprised and you know, very grateful. It was really cool to do and a really cool experience, and it definitely helped my business. I went pretty crazy on wraps that after that interview, so I was very appreciative of it. So it
That's
definitely
cool.
helped.
Yeah, and I think it's I appreciate you being honest about putting yourself out there and wanting to, kind of not liking being in the spotlight because I think a lot of
Yeah,
us, even me, so as a marketer and a lot of people in the small towns, they kind of shy, don't necessarily want to toot their own horn, and there is a balance between being a good marketer and maybe trying to put yourself out there too much. So I think you let your business speak for itself, and then when you get these opportunities, make sure you take advantage of them, and you did. So that's really cool.
yeah.
Um, so I have a couple short little questions for you. I mean, feel free to tell us what you think, but what's been the hardest and most frustrating part about starting this business?
So it's probably everyone's similar frustration. It's always financials. I mean, starting your own business, I started this from the ground up. I never took out a loan. So for, the last 3 years, it's been get an order, use that money to get my supplies, and just try to keep going because I don't want to take out a loan. So for me, that's been the hardest part, and that's just a stubborn part of my part, not wanting the loan. I mean, there's plenty of stuff out there financially that could help a small business, grants, all that. I just chose to do this with what cash we had, so I wasn't, creating enormous amount of debt. So that's been the hardest part for me. And this is the first year where I actually am seeing the positive growth. They say, what, 3 years when you're a new business owner before you get to that positive growth. And so just getting through that has just been super tough, but I've made it, and I've been pretty excited for what I've seen, even through a pandemic. Right now, I thought I would be a lot slower, and I'm still going steady. So I super appreciate all my supporters and keeping me moving. So
Yeah, and I think that is a very gutsy of you, and one of the things that you have that shown how you're able to grow your business is that just go get themness. You have a desire to keep this thing going, so that's really cool.
yeah.
So what's been your favorite part of running this business?
Oh, my favorite parts definitely outweigh the bad. I super enjoy working for myself. I've worked for some really awful CEO bosses in my lifetime, and I don't ever want to go back. But the best part is just creating my own schedule. I mean, sometimes I don't know when to quit. I'll work from like 7 in the morning till 4 in the morning during the sled season. But in the summer, I'm here with my daughter, and I'm able to run her to like volleyball camp, and we can go to the gym, and then I can work in the evening. So I think just being able to control my calendar has been amazing. Um, and it's stressful, but it's a good stress working this business from home. And I don't know, there's just so many things I could list from working from home. It's just awesome. But
Yes, and
it
you
just
mentioned
definitely
earlier
comes. Whoop,
working with
go
the
ahead.
people in the industry, right? And that's been something that you love.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think, man, just having a passion for what you do, it's so cool. And I appreciate the time that you've spent chatting with me here on the Small Town Business Podcast. It's been really cool to get your perspective on a business that may be a little different than most people think about when it comes to small town businesses.
Yeah, it's definitely, if you have an idea and you really have a passion for it, go for it, because it can start as a hobby and then work into something you really love. I think that's one thing I read a long time ago. If you have a job that you're just not happy with, get out of it and do what you love, because life's too dang short to go every day to a 9 to 5 that you hate. I mean, you may not make as much money, but you'll be a lot happier and a lot stress free.
Yes, a lot less stress. Well, great. Well,
Yeah.
thanks again for joining us, Jessica. And for anybody that may own an ATV, a four-wheeler, or I guess same thing, four-wheeler, snowmobile, watercraft, side by side, and you're interested in making it look awesome, Jessica at Extreme Realities is a great person to work with. You can go see her work on her social media, check out her website. What's your website, Jessica?
It's extremerealitieslive.com.
Okay, and on social, just Extreme Realities, correct?
Yeah, it is. Yep.
So if you guys are out there, I know a lot of people in small towns love the outdoor power sports, so check her out. She does great work. And for Jessica for joining us today, we'll give you free access to the Small Town Marketing Group online courses, and hopefully they can help you out as you
Yeah.
continue to grow this business.
Well, I so appreciate you having me, and I really look forward to seeing more of your courses and listen to the podcast. So I think information you're going to be bringing to us small town businesses. So I appreciate that.
Sounds great. And that'll be it for this episode of the Small Town Business Podcast.